You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. Thank you for tuning in to The Lyndia Grant Show. We are here every Friday. Really excited about this week. Our special guest will be AXO, Washington, D.C., from the NAACP, and the city chair is Alicia Henry, and she's going to be on with a couple of her talented youth. But for now, let us go to Dr. Julianne Malvo. I was just watching the news. They got some stuff in here on Diddy, and there's so much going on with the president and what's all. Dr. J, don't let me get into politics. Go ahead and tell the people what's going on.
Well, first of all, shout out to AXO. I was a president of the San Francisco NAACP branch a bazillion years ago. I love the NAACP, and AXO is one of the best things we do for our young people, giving them opportunities to perform, to recite, to essentially lift up Black excellence, which is something that's under attack these days.
Yes,
now,
it is.
Of course, the news is the big ugly. That's what I call the bill, the tax and spending bill. It passed the Senate on it was a 50-50 vote with 3 Republicans voting against it. Susan Collins because of Medicaid, Tom Tillis from North Carolina because of Medicaid and also the budget. After that man who lives in the house that enslaved people built threatened him, he said he's retiring from the Senate. He doesn't understand how we can have a system like the system we have now, where one person is the dog or the tail, whatever he is, that basically offers no resistance. And then Rand Paul from Kentucky, he primarily voted no because of budget. Rand Paul has been every budget he opposes because he really believes that we're running up our deficit, which we are. And of course, this particular action adds another $3 trillion. See, this is Mr. Cut, Fraud, Waste, and Abuse. $3 trillion added to our deficit. This is supposed to be efficient. Lots of stuff in this bill, that are interesting, and we'll be talking about it because it now goes from the Senate back to the House. The House, the man has asked that it come to his desk by July 4th, which is Friday. It doesn't look likely that that's going to happen, but it might, because these people, if he says jump, they say how high. But there are those in the Congress, Republicans, who basically, number one, are concerned about Medicaid, especially in rural areas where you have very few hospitals. And so if you cut Medicaid, where are people going to go? Number two, many are, on one side, you have people who are concerned about shredding the social safety net. On the other hand, you have those who are concerned about the deficit. And so Mike Johnson's job is to try to get them together to give that man what he wants. I don't know that they're going to be able to. It went over to the House on Tuesday. I don't know if they're going to be able to, by the time people listen, this may be happening and it may not be happening. We just don't know. But we know that we're paying attention. We're all paying attention. There's money in the big ugly for mass deportations. We're building a wall, which he promised last time and didn't do. And what's funny? Okay, so after the big ugly passed the Senate, or as it was passed in the Senate, he took himself down to Florida to visit Alligator Alcatraz. Alligator Alcatraz is a intake for undocumented people, and it's surrounded by alligators. So rather than, they keep saying, rather than having to have security, they have alligators. So if somebody tries to leave, the alligators will get them. Well, the part about that is, you got some of our people down there. There's some Haitian brothers and sisters in there. My grandfather was Haiti. I lean on hoodoo. I do lean on it. So I was just thinking, somebody could probably hypnotize the alligator and get up out of there. I'm just saying, okay, I have no proof of that. But just saying, he's down there. See, he's trying to take our attention away from what he's done with the big ugly. So he's down there in Alligator Alcatraz. Maybe he'll trip. I don't know. Other things in the bill, the thing in the bill that has me the most upset, Lyndia, is the attacks Well, three things. Number one, the attacks on Medicaid. Um, about 11 million people or more will lose their health care, which means 16,000 people will die. Their deaths would have been preventable if they had had health care. That's in DC. 38% of our residents, 257,000 people, rely on Medicaid. The next group that, we're looking at food stamps, SNAP as well. And we have, again, a large number of DC, 1 in 5 recipients of SNAP will lose their SNAP benefits. And that hits home here in the District of Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that really has me bothered, the cuts on Medicaid and food stamps. The other that has me very disturbed is what it's doing to higher education. Um, Pell Grants will be cut substantially. Last year, there were about $7,300. Academic year 24-25. The coming year, if this passes, it will be $5,400, a cut of 23%. Now, for some kids, it doesn't matter. Their families have money. But for other kids, those whose parents earning less than $40,000, this is going to make a real difference to them. When Pell was first initiated, it covered about 75% of tuition. And then students usually got loans and other things. Now it only covers a very small amount. At Howard University, where the tuition is $35,000, the new Pell will only cover about 20% of tuition. So just saying this, this is an attack on our future. To say that young people don't deserve Pell Grants, but they're also going to increase, as they are doing with other things, the number of credit hours students have to have. So right now you have to have 12, that's considered full time. They're changing it to 15. As a former college president, I will tell you that there are some students you want to do 12 hours for at least their first year so they could get acclimated. You know the students that I'm talking about. But if they have to do 15, some of them might flunk. What we know is that thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of students absent Pell will probably drop out of school. So this is an attack on our future. We say we believe that children are our future, but we're not acting like it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some things I'm going to leave that budget bill alone because there's just so much to it. It's going to raise the debt ceiling. They're going to get local tax relief, which is a good thing. If you pay federal taxes, you can deduct your state taxes, but this is only for a few years. They're going to have to renegotiate that. It keeps the 217 tax cuts for the wealthy. So, like I said, people will be talking about this for weeks because I don't think they're going to get it to him on July 4th. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth in the House, and I think we're going to see perhaps a pushback on some things, especially around Medicaid, because you're really talking about taking people's health care away. Now, many of us really, I've had friends who worked at USAID, so have I. It's been our international presence in these United States and the world. As of July 1st, this week, USAID is no longer. Indeed, the FBI is moving into space that they once occupied in that building downtown, where the FBI will be moving into that space. According to Lancet, which is a global reporting agency, USAID prevented 91 million deaths in low and middle income countries between 2001 and 2021. Now, we will lose 14 million people more than we should have in the next 5 years because of the elimination of USAID and its programs. Now, the programs are going to the State Department, and we know how that is. And the reason why we had USAID and the State Department is because really did not want politics to interfere with the way that international aid, USAID, U.S. Assistance for International Development, we did not want to have politics involved in that. But guess what? That's over with now. For a little bit of a laugh, it's not funny, but the Orange Man and his doodle-wop, that will be Elon Musk, are feuding again.
Mm-hmm.
Musk is not happy about the big ugly.
No.
because his big thing was cut the deficit. And of course, this adds to the deficit. He has threatened to start his own party, or a new party, maybe not his own party, but a new party. And of course, he has the money to do it. Remember how much money he spent helping the Orange Man.
Mm-hmm.
He could perhaps start a party. What the Orange Man has said, I'm laughing a little bit. He says he might deport Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
That was his sidekick, president for purchase, co-president for purchase. But now he says, well, maybe I'll deport him. But speaking of South Africans and deportation, while we're looking at what's going on, 1,100 more white South Africans have been authorized to come into the United States. You have a long line of people been waiting to come to the United States from all kinds of countries who've been approved, but he's cut these white South Africans, because they're such victims of discrimination, he's cut them to the front of the line. Does that make any sense to you, Lyndia?
No, not at all.
It surely doesn't make any sense to me. I got plenty here, so when you want me to stop you, let me know.
Well, you already got 1 minute to go. That's all.
I got 1 minute. All right. In my 1 minute, let's just talk about the cuts to green energy. We'll phase out many of the tax incentives created by Congress during President Biden's presidency. President Biden was very passionate about green energy, about cleaner cars, solar. All those subsidies are going to be cut. In some ways, this also affects Elon Musk, because he has all these, driverless cars and all of that. So part of this is personal for the current president. He cannot stand Joe Biden. Every time you turn around, he's making some crack about Joe Biden. And all I would have to say in closing is that people keep talking, the Republicans keep talking about President Biden's acuity. They're actually doing an investigation about whether or not people lied about how aware he was. I would challenge them to listen to a Trump speech.
Mm-hmm.
I would simply challenge them. If you want to see this organization, a lack of mental acuity, listen to just one of those speeches. So
Amen.
Let's not let the pot call the kettle black, because ain't neither one of them black. Biden's cool, and the other one is just not here.
And see if it's wearing a pamper.
Pastor has, and people talk about how bad he smells. But that's not public policy. I talk about politics. I don't talk about people's personal proclivities or lack thereof.
Yeah, but that was just me being smart. So thank you. Thank you, Dr. Julian. We'll talk to you again next week. And we'll go to our commercial break, and we'll be back in a moment.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing, because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated Montgomery bus. In lectures on brotherhood, Ms. Parks often said, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired." But that wasn't true. I was not tired physically. I was not old. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Driven out of Montgomery by harassment and death threats, Detroit, Michigan became her new home. Rosa Parks will always be remembered as the mother of the civil rights movement. Raised in the AME church, she once said, "I remember finding such comfort and peace while reading the Bible."
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
This is Frank Smith with the African American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C., located at 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest on the Green Line. Did you know that a recent study found that children who visit museums do better in school and in life than children who do not? So parents, teachers, and preachers, let's get moving. I promise you, if you bring your children to the African American Civil War Museum, they will be inspired by the images that they see. They will be impressed by our living history reenactors who are always available, and they will be involved in our scavenger hunt that takes them throughout our exhibit. That's the African American Civil War Museum, 1925 Vermont Avenue. Our hours are 10 to 6:30 on weekdays, 12 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. See it. Be inspired.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. We are here this 4th of July weekend. I'm really excited about my second guest. We are talking to the NAACP AXO team from Washington, D.C. These are youth groups who showcase their talent. I have even served as a judge for them several times. I love AXO. And so we're going to be talking to the chair of the DC chapter. Her name is Alicia Henry. She's Washington, D.C. AXO chair and former AXO competitor. And we're going to have some of the youth on here. We're going to have Nathaniel Gillian, and we call him Nate. And we have Layla Bunch. So I want to say hello to everyone, and going to go first to their leader, their fearless leader. She's always doing so many exciting things. How are you today, Alicia?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having us on again, Lyndia.
All right. I'm glad to have you back. Please tell us what the NAACP AXO program is all about and who is able to participate so that our YCB listeners probably know, but in case they want to get someone involved.
Wonderful. So AXO, which is actually an acronym that stands for Afro Academic, Cultural, Technological, Scientific Olympics, I know it's a mouthful, was founded in 1978 by author and journalist Vernon Jarrett. And he really wanted to showcase and highlight African American students, their talent just beyond sports. So he really wanted to highlight their academic and artistic achievements. And so he founded the AXO program. Mm-hmm. And so to date, AXO has 33 different categories that students are able to participate in. There's STEM categories, visual arts categories, humanities categories, culinary arts categories, as well as the performing arts categories. And so this is a competition for high school youth nationwide from African descent, and students are able to compete their 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year. They can compete in up to 3 different categories. And this competition is really shaped after the Rio Olympics. So students are judged by a panel of judges, and they can win gold, silver, or bronze for the different categories that they compete in. So each AXO program has a local competition, and then all of the students who win gold at the local level are able to advance to the national competition, which this year will be held in Charlotte, North Carolina. And in addition to the competition, AXO is really a full enrichment program and mentorship program for high school youth. Not only do we focus on the competition, but we also provide opportunities for the students for mentorship. We provide scholarship opportunities, master classes, college prep, and just enrichment. And so we really work with the students throughout the year, not only to enhance their different amazing skill sets and talents, but really get them ready to go out and showcase themselves in the world.
Okay, very good. Now, Alicia, before I go to the students, I always love what you do in the world. Tell the listeners a little brief bio about you. Yeah, about a minute.
Sure, I can keep it brief. So I am a native of California, born and bred. I grew up in Altadena and Pasadena, and I'm a proud alum of the Altadena AXO program, where I participated in oratory and then also poetry written and went to the national competition for both years. I've lived in the Washington, D.C. area for about 15 years and have an extensive career in politics. I've worked for two United States senators, both from California, and I've also spent time in local government working for the chairman of the D.C. Council. And so politics is really a huge passion of mine. But outside of politics, I also have a passion for working with youth and mentorship. And so the AXO program has really been an incredible kind of full circle moment for me, having been a former participant and now being able to pour into the lives of these amazing, amazing, amazing Black youth.
Wonderful. Now, Nate, ladies are first. So let me go to Layla. Layla, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Miss Grant?
I'm doing great, thank you. Layla,
Yes, ma'am.
introduce yourself to the listeners. What is your category and your school?
Hello, everyone. My name is Layla Bunch. I am 17 years old. I go to Duke Ellington School of the Arts. I am a rising 12th grader, and I am in the vocal part of the competition. I am in the contemporary and in the classical portion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what kind of acting or dancing or what do you do?
Vocal.
Sing?
Singing, yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. Have you won anything yet, or this your first competition?
This is my first competition with AXO, but I have done previous competitions. At my school, we have what's called the Williams Opera Prize, where you win $25,000 to contribute to your craft. And I recently won that, I believe, sophomore year.
You won 25,000, girl. You rolling. Wonderful.
Thank you. And I was a part of two Q competitions in which I went on to the nationals.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. Have you been in the national? So you have participated in the national competition as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you win anything, or it was just a great experience?
I believe I won a prize for one of them in classical classical voice. And then the other one, I had to rush to the first one that I went to, and so I didn't win anything in that one. But it was still a great experience, especially to see all the wonderful people that were there.
I'm going to come back and talk about national, but let's go to Nate now. The second guest we have on today, his name is Nathaniel Gillian, and we call him Nate. Nate, tells us your background and any what you've been doing in AXO. Give us your background.
You?
Yes, go ahead. You can. We can hear you.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
We don't hear you, Nate. You losing your...
My mic is acting weird right now.
But we can hear you, so don't waste your time. Start talking.
My name is Nathaniel Gillian. I'm 17 years old. I just graduated from Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and I'm going to be a freshman at Berklee College of Music. I've been doing AXO for 3 years, and the first year I went to nationals, I got a bronze medal in the contemporary category. I've done other competitions as well, but the main reason I keep on coming back to AXO is because I love competing. It's just like a great feeling. I just love doing competitions.
Where is Berklee College?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, okay. And where are you from, Nate?
I'm from Maryland.
Oh, you're from Maryland. What part?
Clinton.
Huh?
PG County.
Okay, Clinton and Prince George. It's okay. All right, well, let's go back to Alicia. Alicia, talk to us about, did they have their competition already this year? I know I usually I get a chance to participate, but I didn't. Are they ready now and getting ready to go to the conference, or what's the status?
Yes, so we hosted our local competition this year at the end of April, and we had a number of different students participate. It was a really beautiful experience. And then we also hosted our award ceremony in May. We were at Joe's Movement Emporium, and so we were able to celebrate the students' achievement. And so we have a total of 8 students this year competing in 12 categories. So we have several students that are competing in more than one category this year, a total of 4 students competing in at least 2 categories. And so right now we are just working with the students to put the finishing touches on their pieces, practice their oral presentations, practice their public speaking, going over, what they're going to wear at the national competition so that they are ready to compete against all of the other students throughout the country. So right after the local competition, we jumped into work and we do about a 6 to 8 week coaching session with the students. It also allows them time to get to know each other in person and build camaraderie, because when we travel on the trip, we travel as a family.
And how many kids approximately attend the conference?
It varies every year. Sometimes it's upwards of about 1,500.
Oh,
But it
1,500, that's
is,
a lot of kids.
yes. And
Is it in conjunction with the NAACP or yours is separate?
yes, that's actually a great question. So AXO always happens right before the National NAACP convention. So wherever the NAACP convention is going to be held, as I mentioned this year, it's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. AXO is also a part of that. So we're kind of, I would say, the opener for the convention. And so they've actually added an additional day this year to the AXO competition. So students will now compete over the course of 2 days. And then one really exciting piece is that the students on Sunday, they get to participate in a televised awards ceremony. And so there's a combination of student performances, and very much like the Olympics, they have a podium on which students stand, they receive their medals. And so it's just a really joyous occasion to celebrate and highlight, the amazing talent and promise in our Black youth.
Well, I remember now hearing it on the news that it would be in Charlotte. And I'm not trying to make your segment political, but I remember hearing that our president is not invited this year. So let's move on. We won't talk about that. I don't want you young people to get involved. Let me be the one get in trouble. Okay, so Alicia, I'm going to go back to Layla and let Layla give her closing comments, and then I'll go back to Nate and let him give, and then we'll let you close. Layla, would talk to the people and tell them what you want to say for your closing comment.
Something that I very much look forward to during this competition is just meeting everyone and seeing all the wonderful participants and seeing my peers perform again. And I think that it'll just really be a great experience, especially because my family, on my dad's side, they're from North Carolina. And so just to go back there and share my talents with other people and also see other people share their talents, not only in performing arts, but also in academics, I feel like it's just going to be a really great experience, especially because I've never been in a competition like this before in which academics are also shared. And I would just love to come back next year, and I can't wait. And I feel as though it'll be a great experience like it was this year.
And you had good grades, obviously, for you to be included, for academics to be included, right?
I'm sorry, may you please repeat that?
You had wonderful grades?
Oh, the academic portion is completely separate from the arts portion. I'm just doing the arts portion.
Oh, okay.
My grades are pretty decent, though. My grades are pretty good.
Good, wonderful. All right, Nate Gillian, give us your closing comments.
All I would say is after 3 years, I started doing AXO my sophomore year. Like I started doing competitions in general my sophomore year. I'm really looking forward to all the networking and meeting other creatives around my age. It's always a good experience going out, getting to see new places and seeing new faces, especially people that you can work with. One of my favorite things to do is play with the other people that are in the instrumental categories and like create whatever we do. So I'm just excited to go one last time and just like, I'm looking for a good competition and experience in general.
Okay, wonderful. And I just want to say that Prince George's County is the most influential Black county in the United States, because you sounded like you didn't want to say it. So I just want you to be proud of Prince George's County. All right. And if I'm mistaken, excuse me. All right, Alicia, give us the close, please.
Again, I am just so proud. Proud is really an understatement of the work and the energy that the youth have put in to prepare for this national competition. It is centered on a competition, but again, we just really work to develop the youth, pull out their greatness, expand their creativity, and just really showcase to the world that, as Black youth, we are here and they really are the future. And so every year I am just truly, truly inspired by the team that we are able to take to the national competition and all that they are able to get out of it. Nate mentioned the networking opportunities. Many of our students go on to become professionals in the fields in which they compete. And so it's just truly a blessing to have a front row seat to seeing all of that unfold. For those of you that want to stay in touch with us, we are on Instagram and you can follow our journey to nationals at ACTSO DC. That's on Instagram. And we're also fundraising. So if you are inspired by anything you heard today and would like to help our youth as they journey to the national competition, please feel free to reach out to us via email at actsaacpdc@gmail.com.
Very good. Thank you all for being my guests today. All right. Well, that concludes our segment. And I thank you all for coming on. And listeners, thank you for tuning in to the Lyndia Grant Show. That does it for this week. Good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.